One's heading this way. I think it's a good time to announce that our judge again today is going to be Mike
coverage,
Harbor.
and then there's
from
Bovolus Vista
Gatesville,
1
Texas,
SQ,
where he
the most
and
comprehensive
wife still
respiratory
operate
vaccine
and sell
covering more causes of
high-quality show
BRD,
lambs and show
including
goats.
these two. No other vaccine covers
he'll be
both.
here helping
So
us
for
sort
more
through the
coverage,
day.
make it
Thank you
Bovolus
for him
Vista
being
1
back.
SQ.
Cassie or Miss Bentley knows, so follow along with her. I imagine he could judge these three on the phone, but I'm sure he'd prefer not to be. Got what you need, Mike? Mike, if you're ready, you'll get them. Starting with yearling commercial. We'll start off the morning with the yearling commercial ewes and then move right into commercial ewes. Look at there. 802. I like it. He's in a rhythm if he woke up with his coffee caffeinated enough and everything. He got at the end, he got the rolling like he needed to. He made up a lot of ground and then seen. Because I looked at
if you need to keep him caffeinated and keep him going, I'll go buy him a coffee whenever he wants.
I think it'll be more in his wheelhouse what we're doing today. We're just bringing in show sheep. He got through for a little loop. He didn't say so, but I felt he did when we started the breeding news show. He had to decide, where do I want to be on this breeding thing? Yep. And eventually he just kind of melded into what he's going to do today, I think. But I don't think he was quite there in the beginning. My observation.
We got a really good set of yearling commercial ewes to start the morning off with. The ewe that wins, big stout ewe. She's, obviously the biggest ewe out here in the class, but you really study this gal in terms of her rib shape, her muscle pattern. Big top in her, big rack, just super stout. You got to really like this one to win. I think we follow logically with the one here in the second, a ewe that maybe just has a notch more body, a notch more muscle in compared to our third place ewe, just a notch bigger and just a good stout ewe to roll in second. The blue ewe in third. Really appreciate the style and the look of this one. She's maybe a little more terminal to her look. Didn't quite as broody at this stage in the yearling age, but a ewe that is definitely high quality as well. She's pretty much club lamb type ewe that has a lot of quality to her. I think you get her bred to the right buck and she'll be pretty productive. But a good class. Give them a nice round of applause.
And there's some divisions. There's like divisions, 4, maybe 5 different divisions, so they break them by weight only. All of these are a mixture of breed or whatever they are. They're in what's called commercial use. How many is it? There's over 100 and some. Your placings on the yearling ewes first goes to Wyatt Smarsh, second, Gage Fritz, and third, Hayden Smarsh. And respectively, then, your first and second would be champion and reserve in the yearling division. We now have 5 divisions on these crossbred commercial ewes, and we will show them all by weight, lightest to heaviest, and then through each course, we'll have division champions that will come back then for overall champion or reserve, including the yearlings. So.
First and second call, class 3.
Once again, for those that are just getting ringside, our judge again today is Mike Harbert from Gatesville, Texas, as well as your superintendents is Cassidy Collins and Dale Lanham. So if you get a chance to see either or all of those today, thank them for their offering of kindness and hard work to put on a show of this caliber.
They'll be recognized. So we will not be picking a champion overall commercial at the end of this show. It will be tonight.
We know there's some new things that have to do with our ewe show, and if you'll listen along as we go through today, all champion and reserve of division and yearling in the commercial show will go over tonight at 5:45 and be presented in the beef arena, as well as yesterday we had a breeding ewe show. All champions and reserves from the breeding ewe show are able to attend and be in that arena at the same time. If you were a bred and owned champion or reserve, top 5 in the bred and owned, the top 5, you are asked and are definitely can attend and be over there with your animals, child and animals as well. So it is a complete showcase of our champions and reserves of all of the ewe show tonight at 5:45 over in the beef arena. Good. That work for now?
To make it even more helpful, they said we're going to meet here about 5 o'clock to 5:15 with all the sheep and parade them at once on your Champions Over. So first and foremost, when you start seeing sheep gather up here at 5 o'clock, if you're a champion or reserve, make it up to the show arena so that the superintendents can get everything organized and take you over. If you were at State Fair, it's kind of similar to the Grand Drive. You're up. You need to speak up a little bit. You really think so? Do I use the mic or not?
Oh, you were actually using the mic when you were talking back there?
Don't need to, do I?
A really good class here. Study this ewe that wins the class in this first ewe lamb class. Really good built one. You really like the profile and the eye appeal of this gal. She just gets deeper as she goes back. Shallow chested, up fronted. Big top, super level square. Just really the kind, and I think you follow her with one right behind her that's built very similar. Maybe not quite as stout-footed. One that isn't quite as shallow and as freaky fronted as that class winner, but two really high quality ewes be top, first and second. Are you here in second? I think falls in here maybe a little more conventional to her look as compared to the top two in the class, but this gal's pretty stylish, pretty eye appealing. One that just doesn't have the squareness and the power and the boldness of the top two, but really good ewe in her own right to roll here in third. We'll follow her in fourth with one that's built very similar, just a little shorter body, a little more compact. You study her in that front third of her body. She's getting a little deeper chested and maybe a little shorter in her neck, but really good high-quality ewe. The ewe here in fifth is a big frame, long-bodied ewe. You study her, we just got to add more squareness to that skeleton, more just more power from front to rear, but a good high-quality ewe here in fifth. Good class. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
Your final placings on Class 2 commercial ewes. First, Carter Watson. Second, Lakin Nash. Third, Riley Thomas. Fourth, Macy Hensley. Fifth, Shelby Cosby. Sixth, Gentry Hartman. Your seventh place, Emma Burns. Your eighth, Jonda Goodnow. Your ninth, Ellie Pepperton. 10th, Mato Monte. 11th, Gracie White. Your 12th placing, Emma Burns. And 13th, Catherine Tevington. Congratulations to all exhibitors. It takes not only a lot of volunteers, but a lot of sponsors to provide the awards that are being given out throughout the weekend. Many of those coming from plenty of organizations like Sullivan Sales Commission, Kansas Junior Livestock Show Drovers, your CJ Feed and Supply, High Noon Feeds, Sam and Sherry Liggett, Diamond Sea Livestock, Smoky Valley Ag Services, Dale and Vicky Lanham, your Kansas Sheep Council, your DDDR Club Lambs, Harvey LaRoche Show Lambs, to name a few. There'll be several others we'll mention throughout the day.
Last call, class 4. Last call, class 4. Grayson Maxwell, last call, Grayson Maxwell.
You feel cold? Okay. Probably the workers out there, kids are probably playing warm. I was just curious if the speed on the fans too much.
No, but also I'm warm-blooded, so
Well, you're not overly dressed like on.
yeah.
You're dressed just fine. I didn't. Just saying. You've got bare arms, so you would know if it's cool. I chill easy, so I have to ask somebody old. We get a division done, we'll have you take these in. Probably. That way there's keeping up with the division.
Got a good challenging class right here. A lot of give and take in these top 5. I think the top 2 kind of separate themselves as far as quality and just kind of putting everything together we've been talking about for the last 2 days. The ewe that wins, big, stout-footed, really one that's super blowed apart. We really like the turn to her rib shape, the amount of power that she got. Ideally, I'd like to stretch her out just a notch more. Maybe make her a tick longer from flank to flank, kind of elevate her just a notch. But you really got to admire the power and the bone work and the substance that this gal has, and just overall true width and dimension. And this one right here in second is one maybe a little prettier from the side in terms of her femininity, and just up through that front third of her body. She's shallower chested, she's longer necked, one that's longer sided, and just got a few of those attributes that I think excel our first place sheep. But you study her, she's not as stout footed, she's not as heavy muscled, she's not as square built back there in the back third in terms of pin width and upper hip and just the overall true dimension that we see in that first place sheep. The one in third maybe kind of a little closer to our first place sheep, but I studied this one. This gal just kind of is a little bit off in that front end in terms of straightening her scapula. One that you like her square lines. She's very level hipped. A really good built one. Just when we get her on the move, she drops down in that front end, wants to wad up just a bit. I just like to free her up, make her move out just a notch better. All right, we get to fourth and fifth, and you study these in comparison to the top three. They don't quite have the power. They don't quite have the bone work. Really good, high-quality sheep in fourth. Just a good, solid brood type ewe that's kind of flawless, but just doesn't have the bells and whistles of the ones ahead of her. Same kind of goes here in fifth. We've got a big, stout, long-bodied sheep that's up off the ground. Just not quite as square built, doesn't quite have that expression and thickness, especially back there in her pin set and just that natural width in that hip. But a good class. Give them a nice round of applause.
Your placings on that class in Division II here. First goes to Graham Williams. Second, Ellie Pemberton. Third, Brooklyn Kennedy. Fourth, Rhett Parks. Your fifth is Wyatt Smarsh. Your sixth, Carson DeGrave. Your seventh, Isabel Apsley. Your eighth, Mela Monti. Your ninth, Kaya Kaseeker.
We need Division 2 callback in the holding area. Division 2.
Your 10th was Wyatt Daniel. Your 11th, Jonda Goodnow. And finishing 12th, Royce Cohen. Congratulations, all exhibitors. The class in the ring is Class 4. It is the last class of Division 2, so there will be a division championship. Those that were first and second in those classes need to be making their way to the holding ring.
We need the winners of Division 2, Class 2, and Class 3 to the holding area.
I know it should go without saying, we have no designated line to come into the holding pen. If you would be kind enough to keep that area clear, if you're going to watch kids, move to the sides away from the holding area entry, please.
thing be turned a bit on the lowest setting? It just stir the air. It wouldn't have to move the air. I don't know.
Right, in this third class, you study these ewes, and the top two kind of separate themselves amongst everybody as you really analyze these gals in terms of their build and their body, their natural width, dimension, foot size, just kind of everything. Put it all together in a nice, neat package. Ideally, on this class winner, I'd like to make her a notch shallower chested, kind of lift that chest floor up and get her balanced out just a notch more. She's getting a little front heavy for me. But you really study everything else. Squareness of top, squareness of hip, just the flair and the expression and the touch that she has. I think she excels over two. Two, you look at her, yeah, she's a notch shallower chested, maybe a tick longer sided, but we study her, get over the top of this gal. She's doesn't have the loin edge, doesn't have the square top, doesn't have the square hip, doesn't have the foot size of our class winner, and really those two things right there as far as chest floor were kind of a little give and take on that pair. Another one rolls in here in third, and this gal, like there's times I really like her and times we don't get her presented quite as well, but we study her. Front third's really neat. She's real cool fronted. I maybe stretch her neck out just a notch, but she's up in her chest. She's right in her blade. Really good turn to the rib. And this one, we get back there in that back third, and that's where she gives up compared to the other two, just in terms of just squareness. Up over that dock in the upper hip, she's given up some there and center stifle, but a really neat U to land in the third hole. We've gotten 4 and 5. We get to 2 U's that maybe just a notch more conventional to their look. They're going to be good brood U's, high quality sheep as well. Don't quite have the unique features that we see in the 3 above them, but 2 really solid sheep. I think will make excellent brood U's. But a good class. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
You want to lap them one time? Yeah, let's lap them one time. Okay. So I'll put my first, we'll lap the second behind them, and then I'll put them kind of like three. Okay. We are lapping them one time. So.
Your placings on the last class in Division II. First goes to Riley Thomas, and second, Morgan Harvey. Your third, Rail Mazanik, Riley McZanik. Your fourth place, Braden Simon. Your fifth place, Gage Fritz. Your sixth, Macy Hensley. Your seventh, Cora Windland. Placing eighth, Ashlyn Luckert. Placing ninth, Jaden Parks. 10th, Kennedy Holcomb. 11th, Landry Laws. 12th, Elena Wolford. And rounding out the class, Grayson Maxwell. Congratulations. Now in the ring is your Division II champions, your first and seconds from Class 2, 3, and 4.
Ted, he's more concentrated on loin than about any judge they've seen all year. They shouldn't be hard racing them sheep if they want to win this. But kids don't pick that up. They'll learn it afterwards. Right? The young man sitting in front hole on the first class, he needs to let off and show that thing.
Well, a good division drive out here. We'll start off. We'll talk a little bit about the class winners. Our first class. This U's super unique. Just a really tremendously built one that's very unique in her pattern and just really high quality. Those kind of hard to find. Ideally, I'd like to make her a notch fatter. I think she'd smooth out there in her loin and just really give us a tremendous silhouette. If we could fatten her up just a hair, not much, but really, really good one there. the Class 2 winner, super stout. You know, you study this gal in terms of her center rib and just her stoutness and foot size, and just kind of flawless on everything. Ideally, to make her a little more freakish looking, we'd make her a notch shallower chested and kind of extend her up there in the front end, but this one's a big stout one. The Ewan that wins the third class, we talked to her just a minute ago about how stout she is. I think she's real comparable to our Class 2 winner, but maybe just a little deeper chested, maybe just off a notch there in the front end. Good division out here. I think we'll use our Class 1. I think she's so unique, we got to use her to win the division. We moved this sheep up in second out of that class, and you study this one, and you know, they're so immature right now. I think her better days are probably if we can get another 10 pounds on her and a little more age on her. You study her from the side, and she gets a little piecey. She kind of falls apart there in that midsection and on her hip loin, and just super long, but just kind of isn't quite holding herself together out here in the ring like we'd like to see. We're going to use our Class 2 for our reserve champion in this division. Thank you.
Your champion Division 1 goes to Carter Watson. Your reserve, Graham Williams. Congratulations.
First call, class 6. First call, class 6. Second call, class 6. Second call.
Nice filling.
Yeah, it was bothering me, man. I don't know how you get a deep.
Foot just keeps sliding. When it's wet enough, it slides on top. I can't do anything else. It's not fixing.
No.
Sun's in the wrong place.
Right now it is.
Good job, lady.
Yeah, a good challenging class here. The young man's ewe, I thought, won it pretty handily. She kind of puts everything together in this respective class, kind of what we've been talking about all day, just as far as levelness of top, squareness of build, big center rib, super stout out on her corners. She doesn't have the big old shag, but you study her actual foot size and her bone work, I think she's got plenty. Just not a bunch of that fluffy wool to cover it up. But I think this one right here, just far as true build and just high quality sheep, she wins the class. Becomes a lot more challenging from there on out. We study these. There's a lot of give and take, and if you want to switch them around, I have no problem with that at all. The ewe right here in second, I think we look at her in terms of her width and dimension and power and thickness and foot size and just structure. I love her to death. She gets a little high in her dock, breaks in that loin. If we could level that out, we're getting these sheep so level that they're actually coming up in their dock like you can see on this one. And a little, just kind of takes away from the overall balance and look of that gal. She's phenomenal. I like her better on the move than I do parked. Really nice sheep that just, there's times I had her in fifth, times I had her in second. I think we just, as good as she is, we got to move her up in the class. This ewe right here, probably from the sidelines, you're like, man, I like that one. Why is she in third? Well, you study her, beautiful from the side, beautiful silhouette, extended up fronted, a lot of the stuff I've been talking about. Where she disappoints me is when I get over the top of her and get behind her. She doesn't have near enough power to beat the two up there. I'm a power guy. I love muscle. I love power. I think that adds to everything, and we study her. Love her from the side. You get behind her, and it's like, man, she gives it all up compared to the two in the class ahead of her. Really good ewe landing here in third. Here's the power sheep right here. Everybody can see that. Super, super thick, maybe just a notch too much. If we could divide it up between her and three, I think we'd have a really good sheep. But big, stout, thick, maybe not big, but just super stout and thick and wide-based and big bone. Just like to stretch her out, smooth her up just a notch more. Speckled sheep that kind of kept working her way up in the class. There's nothing really wrong with her other than maybe right out here. We'd like to raise that tail head up, square up in her pin set. Really cool made spec and one that's got tons of power and tons of thickness to hang in here with these black faces. But a good class. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
Final placings on Class 5. First goes to Grady Gleason. Second, Riley Mazanik. Third, Lakin Nash. Your fourth place, Esther Neher. Esther Neer. Your fifth, Emerson D. Grave. Your sixth, Owen Goldie. Your seventh place, Hadley Jones. Your eighth place, Zeta Summers. Your ninth place, Diva Summers. Your 10th place, Tally DeVer. Your 11th, Emerson Bragg. Your 12th, Weston Cohen. Your 13th, Garrett and Dunn. Your 14th, Grayson Weimar. And your 15th, Elena Wolford. Congratulations, exhibitors.
Second call, class 7. Second call, class 7.
Several more of our sponsors for today's Kansas Junior Livestock Show are Sherry Nelson with Stardust Sheep Farm, Rookstool Show Stock, Gillespie Show Stock, Sam and Sherry Liggett, Diamond Sea Livestock, High Noon Feeds, Hobbs Show Lambs, Goldie Club Lambs, and your Kansas Sheep Council. They've given many awards and many dollars of sponsorship so that we can have not only shirts and banners. Get a chance, thank them and congratulate them for their offering to the Junior Livestock Show.
Final call, Class 1 vert. Final call, Class 1 vert. I'm looking for Briar Sissom.
Things are going to get serious.
Class 2 vert. First call, Class 2 vert.
The judge let me know when he puts his hat on, things get serious.
First call, class 3 burps. First call, class 3 burps.
Well, I apologize about the time on this class, but really good, challenging class. It's one of those, if this is a judging contest, we'd probably cut it 2, 2, and 2. You study these ewes, they're all very similar. You know, there's some give and take in this group and how you want to line them up. I wouldn't argue a bit. If you don't like them this way, that's fine. But we really get up from the side. You look at them from the side. You look at them over the top. You put your hands on them and really study these cows. I think the one that surfaces and wins the class does so as far as completeness goes, as far as presentation goes. This gal touches extremely good, super good on her hide or fluff, or she's got all the bells and whistles, but she's got a big old top in her. She's very square over that rack, big wide loin, deep loin edge. I like her hip. She just kind of kept moving up, and there's times I really never saw her over here in the corner, and but this gal's pretty good. I think she's pretty good. She's not super freaky elite, but I think this is a really good one right here that you're going to put in your flock and just have 50 more just like her and be super successful. This one's, I think, pretty flawless at this point. We've got one here in second. This ewe, I like her. She hit me pretty hard to begin with. Maybe a tick shallower, a tick more up fronted. You get over the top of her. She's not as big rack, not as square top. And right back there in that dock and on the pin set on each side of that tail head, she doesn't flare out and square up like the ewe that wins the class. A lot of good things about her. All the bells and whistles on this one light up, but a really good, solid, stout ewe as well to land in second. The ewe here in third follows them, same type and pattern. Little chubbier to the touch. One that you study her in her top line. She gets a little up and down and breaks in that loin just a little bit. And you step back and you start comparing her to the top two, and she just gets a little piecier in her appearance. We get over the top of her. She's given up some power definitely to our class winner. And so you got to study her and decide, all right, where is she going to go? She ain't quite as pretty from the side, a little deeper chested. We're going to throw her in the third hole right here. The young man's sheep in fourth. This one right here, I had higher, I had lower. I mean, we just kind of depended on her pose and moment. Right here, she looks really, really good. There's times in the class she did not. She kind of breaks in that loin right there, gets a little high in that tail set. But this gal, her pattern and profile are pretty dang nice. You study her, she's shallow-chested, she's elevated, she's long-sided, level-hipped. We just like for her to level down her top line, and when you put your hands on her and touch her, she doesn't have the big old massive rack, the big old square top that we're seeing ahead of him, but this gal's got a lot of really good pieces, and it's a shame we had to put her in the fourth hole. We've got a ewe here in five, big rib, big topped, one that front 2/3 of her body I like an awful lot. She doesn't have the fluffy legs, which to me doesn't really matter, but it does add to presentation like we talked about last night. You study her. There's times we love her from the side, but we've got to make some choices and decisions. She gets a little, high and crazy in that tail head as it comes up right there, especially on the move. A little more pinched in her pin set, doesn't quite have the power of the ones ahead of her, but a really good ewe in her own right. Good class. Give them a nice round of applause.
For the sun. Is there anything you want to do about the sun?
First call, winner. First call, three.
Your final placings on that class in Division 3. First goes to Tucker Slade. Second, Jacob Windland. Third, Hallie Sutherland. Your fourth place is Collier Williams. Your fifth, Kara Henson. Your sixth, Quinn McKee. Your seventh place, Alexis Zimbelman. Your 8, Wyatt Smarsh. Your 9th, Elena Henry. Your 10th, Wyatt Clayman. And your 11th, Brindley Bodenhausen. This is the final class in Division III, so there will be a division champion after it's placed.
All right, another good challenging class. Here, let's get, hey, y'all exhibitors here with the top 5. Let's bring them back this way a little bit, okay? We're getting like up over on top of those sheep, and keep coming, keep coming. There we go. We'll line them up over here so we can talk them. The crowd can see them. There we go. Good set of views right here. You study these, again, maybe not quite the depth that we saw in that last class, but we've got some really high-quality ones up here towards the top. The young lady, when she gets this one parked and gets it squared up, profile's extremely nice. You put your hands on her, she is massive backed, massive loin, big hip in her, big-footed, just kind of one that, to me, squares up. Very impressive when you get over the top of her and get up close. I think she wins the class. Follow it with one that's very similar in type and kind right here. Big rack in this gal. Huge center rib, wide-based, big-footed. You study her in comparison to the class winner, maybe not quite as shallow. And then where she gives it up is right back there in the hip. You analyze her on each side of that tail head, and she kind of flattens out and rolls off. She doesn't have that big old square hip in her like her class winner does. Granted, she's not light muscle by any means, but in comparison to the two, I like to square her up in her hip shape, maybe shallower just a notch in the chest. This ewe here in third is one that, you know, I had her higher and then back and forth, and we study her, and some of it may be how you're getting her drove and presented just a little bit, but we get her on the side right here. You step back and study her. She doesn't level up. She's not quite as smooth, and she gets a little piecier in her profile. She's got her front end, kind of got the middle end, we got the back end. I just like to smooth this gal out a notch. She's got the power. She's got all the bells and whistles in terms of fuzz and just the muscle tone and everything. She just gets a little more up and down in her top line, a little piecier in her profile. This gal right here in fourth, good solid brood ewe. Like, she's kind of flawless in terms of major things going wrong. We just don't quite have the squareness, the muscle, some of the other features that we're seeing in the three ahead of her. You study her, she's maybe a little plainer in her appearance, a little deeper in that chest floor as compared to the ones ahead of her. But just another real good solid ewe here that's going to land in 4. Super powerful one here in 5. We study her, you look at her, you put your hands on her. She's big back, big loin, big upper hip in her, but she gets straight in her hock, a little straight in that front, just kind of a little lazy in her appearance. Good class. Let's give them a nice round of applause for all their efforts out here.
Your placings on Class 1. First, Gentry Palmer. Second, Braden Gillespie. Third, Kaylee Shoemaker. Fourth, Isabel Wright. Your fifth is Madeline Wilson. Your sixth.
If you had a bread-mounted Berkshire, you need to bring it to the holding ring. If you had a bread-mounted bird, please come to the holding ring.
Place, William Luckert. Your seventh, Lila Winchester. Your eighth, Jaden Torres. Your ninth, Tinley Whitman. And your 10th, Emmett Wilson. Cassidy, tell the hogs you got out. You're more important than they are. I've never seen them where voices overlap. It's coming right here on the mic somehow. That's the calling mic. It's almost like they got it. I can hear the judge. I even stopped the enemy. I can't talk to that.
probably going to 1/5 at some point. That might help him just have a mic in his hands.
A really good division here. You know, you don't have those freakish ones like we saw in the first division, but I think all three of these classes had really good ewes in them, the top 5 or 6. The middle class was super deep there and a lot. I think you can see the similarities, kind of the kind of sheep I like. I really like the way these three pattern up out here. We'll talk about them individually. Young man that won the first class, I told him just tone it down just a little bit on the drive on the profile. And you can see right there, like she relaxed a little bit. Her legs are where they need to be. Smooths up just a notch more. But you really step back and study her. Shallow chested, deep middled, big hipped. This gal puts it all together. No, she don't have the monster shaggy legs, but today that don't matter. She's big footed, and I look at actual foot size, not how much wool we can put on one. She's big-footed. She's stout. I really like how everything runs uphill. Nicely balanced one that I think is super complete. Study this one here in the middle that won the middle class that took us so long. Big back, big loin, big rack, big hip. You get back here on the side view, and in comparison to the other two, she's a notch deeper chested. She's a little more plain in that front end. She's got all the fuzz and the bells and whistles, but I would just like to raise and elevate that chest floor just a notch more to make her a tick more attractive in this drive. We get here on the Class 3 winner, and you study her. I'd like to add a little more rear flank to this gal. You know, all that's pretty much cosmetic and eye candy, but you study her in the way her skeleton's built. Wide-bodied, round rib, shallow-chested. She's level topped. She's one that's sound. She's good on the move. Big-footed as well. Plus, she's got some of that fuzz down there that adds to her appearance. Just like to add some more rear flank to this gal. We aren't going to single trait judge today at all by any means, and we're going to take a good, complete one that's got the fewest flaws and the fewest holes. Our big boy down here in Class 1, he's going to be our champion. And the young lady in Class 3 is going to be our reserve.
Thank you, Judge.
That's how I read them.
Okay, I'm just getting the numbers down.
Your champion in reserve in Division 3, first and champion goes to Grady Gleason. Your reserve, Gentry Palmer. Congratulations.
Well, another good challenging class. A lot of variation, very high quality sheep, but a ton of variation out here. And everything going through my mind, the pluses and the minuses. And, you know, we really didn't have that one super unique sheep or two that just kind of ran off and started the parade. And we just keep studying them. This young man's ewe that wins, really high quality sheep. You analyze her. Big back, big loin, big hip. Takes a week and a half to get this one set up, but when he does, she presents herself pretty good. She's big-footed, just a really good, solid sheep that I think once we get her posing, you can see that this gal's pretty stout. She's huge center-ribbed, wide-based, and just a really good one. The one that lands here in second, I like a lot of things about her. This gal here, big muscles top to bottom. You study her. She gets a little plainer in that front end like some we've seen today as far as being a little out in that brisket, a little deep in that chest. Really like the overall look of this gal, though. She's super high quality. Big-bodied one, big-footed, and just a big old stout one. We've got another sheep here in the more Suffolk-appearing lamb here in third. You study this gal; she's pretty fault-free. She doesn't really wow you in any aspect, but you really look at her, she doesn't have a hole in her. She's big top, she's heavy muscle, she's sound, she travels good, she looks good. You know, she doesn't have those freakish front end look on her, but that gal's pretty solid, and we're going to roll her right there in third. This sheep here in fourth, the front third, I really like on this sheep. Big racked, up in her chest floor, just a really cool fronted individual. Wants to get a little weak in that loin right there, high in her dock, a little shallow in that rear flank. Just kind of fix that back third of this one, but she's got some really cool features in the front end. This sheep here in five was the one that gave me lots of fits. I love this one. If we're just taking pictures or sitting in the bleachers, this is the one that wins. Beautiful from the side. This gal handles extremely well. Where she bothers me is we get her on the move. She gets down fronted. She's lazy on the walk. She just doesn't want to be a show sheep today. She poses extremely well. I'll give you that. That's the one when I first saw her on the side, she's going to win the class. She just didn't want to be a show sheep for us today and get up front and move out. Good class. Let's give them a nice round of applause for an excellent set.
Your final placings on Class 8. First goes to Braxton Young. Second, Laura Larison. Your third is Grady Gleason. Your fourth, Brooklyn Kennedy. Your fifth, Faith Marcy. Your sixth, Kara Henson. Your seventh, Harper Sowers. Your eighth, Cody McComb. Your ninth, Faith Marcy. Your 10th, Isabel Bacon. Your 11th, Emmy Bracken. And your 12th, Laundry Laws. Congratulations, exhibitors.
First call, class 11.
Another really good class. A couple sheep up here, I think, check the most boxes just in terms of build and feel and just kind of everything that we need in a show sheep. The young lady sheep, once she finally learned, we got to get this gal stretched out, get her on her corners. Beautiful pattern one right here. Really like it. Just pretty fault-free. You study her, like super smooth, super thick, super square, big-footed, big forearm. Just a good stout one that, to me, I like her a lot, and it took a little while to do that out here, but I like the feel in these first two. I think they excel everybody in the underline and just getting that feel right and a little more belly in them to where they look a little fresher and a little more natural. Super good one here in second as well. A notch more refined. There's guys that would run, win the class with this one. She's a little more elevated, a little more extended. Long-sided you doesn't quite have the punch and power that we're seeing in our class winner. Not quite as big-footed, just a little notch more refined, but I really like this gal as well. Just a really good high-quality one. Becomes a more challenging third, fourth, and fifth. We're going to go with the powerful blue sheep here that's got a big rack, big loin, big hip. One that I just like to smooth her up, freshen her loin edge, just smooth her up right there through that back third, but a really good complete one as well. The next two sheep are sheep that got power. They've got a lot of the same attributes that we see on the ones ahead of them, but you step back from the side view, they're a little shallower middle to more tucked up, and we just like to freshen them up and fill them up, and I think they would relax their top lines just a little bit and kind of make these sheep a notch more competitive. But a really good competitive class out here. Give them a nice round of applause. Thank you.
Your placings on Class 9. Ella Henderson was first. Second, Cammie Hemphill. Third, Sarah Windland. Your fourth, Emma Ackerman. Your fifth, Raleigh Keyseeker. Your sixth, Grayson Gleason. Placing seventh, Avery Franklin. Placing eighth, Isabel Apsley. Placing ninth, Abby Rathman. 10th, Leah Howard. 11th, Gracie White. Your 12th, Ashlyn Farney. Congratulations, exhibitors.
First call, Division 4 winners. First call, Division 4 winners.
pellets in the back. That's why I cleaned them.
Mhm.
Sheep pellets in the back of the pickup.
We have a truck, a white Dodge, license plate 691 LYS DG. I think that's Dodge County. Douglas County, I'm sorry. Needs moved immediately. It will be towed. It has sheep pellets in the back. It will be towed.
Thank you, sir.
Blocking a gate. Thank you.
We kind of got a runaway in this class. Young man brought us a stellar one to win. Just a beautiful individual right here. You study her. She's smooth. She's powerful. She's a lot of what we've been talking about all morning. Just big-footed, big build. You know, she ain't freakish fronted, but man, she is good though. She's one. Ideally, I might maybe drop her rear flank just a hair. But that gal, she runs off with it in a hurry. We get a little tighter here in 4, 5, or 2 through 5. I think the young lady's logically lands here in the second. This one's pretty fault-free. Wins most classes today. You study her, she bounces up extremely nice. Her underline's phenomenal. Just a really good built one, just in, in a class, happened unfortunately with the one that wins it. Right here in 3, 4, and 5, I think we have a lot of give and take. You study these three, and there's times I like one over the other, and we can flop them back and forth. This one, whenever I get over the top of it, it's just massive. It outpowers everybody that's behind her. Just big rack, big hipped. I don't really like her that well here on the side view, especially she sits back and just kind of gets real plain in her appearance. We just like to make her a little more unique in that profile. That helped her out quite a bit. And we got one in 4 here that's definitely a notch prettier in the profile. I get over the top of this one's giving up quite a bit of power. So there's some give and take. You either want to take a better picture or you want to pick the one that's more powerful, and that's why this guy landed up in 4th. He's just giving up too much power. We got one here in 5 that handles really good. He's got her in great shape. Body condition's great. Big top, big rack. We get her on the move, and she just is the least attractive of the top 5, maybe a little deeper in her chest floor. But a good class. Let's give him a nice round of applause.
Your final placings on that class 10. First goes to Mason Rookstool. Second, Piper Beasley. Your third, Vanessa Jones. Fourth, Andrew Lauer. Your fifth, Gage Fritz. Your sixth, Cooper Newby. And seventh, Willow Clayman. Placing eighth, Lane Howard. Ninth, Court Decker. 10th, Keaton Weimer. Placing 11th, Isabel Apsley. And 12th, Keaton Weimeyer. And your 13th, Ella Stinson. Congratulations, exhibitors. We are now doing our Division 4.
First and second call, class 11.
Division 4 champion. I believe there's only 3 classes, so should be 3 in the front line. Just so you're ready in the barn, there will be no break between ewes and wethers. We will go straight into market.
really outstanding division. We get these top three out here, very, very similar. I'm very proud of how they pattern up and look, and you study them. I think there's differences in two of them. One of them just runs off with it, I think, in my mind. Last night I talked about presentation and what it takes to win a show, and you can win one in the first 5-10 steps coming in the ring. Young man's you that won the last class, that's presentation. That sheep's hiding hair is phenomenal, or hiding wool, hiding pelt, excuse me. You study the shag, but all that is on top of a really good individual, skeletally, long-sided, level build, up-fronted. She ain't just a freaky or shallow, but, man, it's hard to get one with this much power and bone and mass and body width that is. I like good livestock. I don't care if it's a hog or a barrow or a steer or whatever, and you study this one, this is good livestock right here. This young man will be our champion. As we study the next two for reserve, I think it boils down to the two class winners in 1 and 2. These two sheep are pretty different. They're similar at a glance, but you really start studying them and picking them apart. I maybe like the profile and the look of the Class 1 winner just a notch better. You study her, she's a tick shallower chest, longer necked, more up-fronted, more elevated in that front end. One, when you really start analyzing her, get the front view, the rear view, over the top, she's a little more refined. She's finer boned, she's narrower chested. One that isn't as bold and pulled apart as our 2 class winner, but a notch prettier. The 2 class winner's one that is super smooth. You study her from the side. She is smooth from front to rear. She is level top. She's big-footed. She's more cracked open through that center body and that chest floor, bigger-footed. Yeah, she maybe isn't quite as shallow-chested, maybe not quite as long-necked, but you really study her in comparison to the ewe that just went out the ring, and I think she's closer in the mold as far as being just a big, stout one that's smooth and square, big bone, big-footed, and just one that I think is really, really productive. Really tight pair here. We're going to name our Class 2 our reserve champion. Good division here in this commercial ewe show.
We're going to take a break. We're taking a break.
Your Division 4 champion, Mason Rookstool. Reserve, Ella Henderson. Congratulations. We move into Division 5. There'll be 3 classes and then division champion and overall champion. Like we said earlier, no overall, I'm sorry. Just division champions. Reminder that we take these all over there at 5 o'clock. Meet here at 5. Meet here at 5. We will not pause between the ewe and weather show. We will continue on.
There's coverage, and then there's Bovolus Vista Once SQ, the most comprehensive respiratory vaccine covering more causes of BRD, including these two. No other vaccine covers both. So for more coverage, make it Bovolus Vista Once SQ.
Challenging class right here, and you study these, and there's not really one that just runs off with it, but I think we got a good, complete one to start with. And this young man's sheep, we get back off the side of him, by far probably our more attractive, better built one from the side in the top 5. You study him or her, and you get over the top of him. She's level, she's square, she's thick. One that I kind of think just we kept moving her way to the top, and she's pretty fault-free. A lot of give and take right here in this pair. If you want to swap them, I'm not going to argue with you at all. But as I step back and really study them, both of them are very comparable as far as rib shape and power and all that stuff. But you step back, you study them from the side. This one's better built in that front third. I like her chest floor better. She runs uphill. She's balances a notch better. Just a little more complete. Yeah, she's not as long-sided. We get back over here to the long-sided number 3. We study her from the side. Her front end bothers me quite a bit in terms of that brisket and just that chest floor. One that we'd like to clean up and make her more correct. If we do that, she's in 2 and in contention to win the class. But that right there, that front third just bothers me quite a bit about her. I really like her back 2/3. Really nice sheep. Here in 4 and 5, we study these 2. We've got a blue sheep that kind of front 2/3 are pretty good. We get back there in the back, she gets high in her tail set, just kind of breaks in that loin and doesn't quite come together as fluid and as smooth as we'd like to see. Love the front 2/3 in this one. We've got a big stout sheep in 5. This gal right here, super in the back 2/3. You know, you take her back in and that one's front end, and we've got a sheep that might win a class. You study her, her front gets a little heavy to me. She's a little deeper, a little more mature in that front end. But a good class. Give them a nice round of applause for an excellent set. Thank you.
First call, class 13.
Placings on that class. First goes to Harvick Sowers. Second, Wyatt Clayman. Third place, Cammie Hemphill. Your 4th place, Emmy Bracken. Your 5th place, Jaden Parks. Your 6th, Ashlyn Farney. 7th, Addie Franklin. 8th, Bailey M. Kramer. Your 9th, Jacob Cockcroft. Your 10th, Wyatt Smarsh. 11th, Shaylee Verney. 12th, Emery Geen. 13th, Carter Manning. And 14th, Kennedy Strecker. Congratulations, exhibitors.
All right, apologize about the time. We study this class. We've definitely got one that wins it pretty handily. Young man's, we were talking about presentation. Well, here's another one. Just super elegant, super powerful. I mean, just wraps everything together in one. He's got it presented extremely well today. The fluff on the legs, the hide, the pelt, just everything comes together in this one pretty dang nicely. I think that's a really, really good one. The next four, we can just jumble around. I mean, there's a lot of give and take in here. The young lady, I was trying to tell her, hey, get this one showed, because she could work her way to number 2 pretty easily if we can get her propped up and presented. I think this one's better built in the front third. I think she's definitely got enough power to be here in the 2-hole. You study her, you analyze her on the move. She gets her head up and presents this one. I think she wins second place pretty handily. There's times there that I had my doubts on that one, but I think that one's pretty dang good. A lot of give and take in 3, 4, and 5, and that's what took me the longest, is trying to break these down and study them individually. I think we just got a little more complete one in 3. You touch this one, she's phenomenal to the touch as far as correctness of condition and the pelt and just the way she handles. One that's got a big foot on her, big stout brood type ewe. Ideally, I'd like to make her a notch more elegant in that front end, raise that chest floor just a tick. But I think she kind of rolls in here with the fewest flaws here in the third hole. We've got a ewe here in 4 that I've had all over the board. I've had her from 2 to 6, and you study this one. Front 2/3 are really good in this sheep. She gets a little higher in her rear flank, a little pinched in her loin. One that we just like to straighten her out, and I think some of that could be just done with the feed can. Really get a notch more cover on her, drop that flank, and make her more balance out just a notch better. Big-footed sheep, big back sheep, needs a notch more center stifle as well. We've got one here in 5 that's plenty thick. One, you study her from the side. She's getting a little shorter bodied, maybe a little plainer and just nondescript in her overall profile and just side view. But this gal's still pretty solid. Good solid type brood ewe, but a good class. Let's give them a nice round of applause for all their efforts.
Your final placings on Class 12, Division 5. First goes to Cole Flower. Second, Kinnison Bellinger. Third, Marion Kerr. Your fourth, Mackenzie Kruger. Your fifth, Brigham Disberger. Sixth, Knox Fike. Seventh, Alyssa Stutzman. Your eighth, Ashlyn Farney. Your ninth, Miley Bumgartel. And your 10th, Willa Clayman.
First call, Division 5 winner.
Just so everyone's on the same page, no break between ewe lambs and market lamb show. No break.
First call, class 1, market. First call, class 1, market. Second call, Division 5 winners.
Really good pair right here. You study these, the young man's black sheep. This one's so dark. You got to really study her to get all the all the great aspects of this one. Boys, you get her on the side view, and we were talking about a shallow chested and deep middle. This gal, she's the best we've seen today as far as that underline goes, and just really, really good built one right here. We get her on the move. I think that's when she's looking her best as far as leveling down that top line, giving us a great look. He's got his hands full with this one. She's kind of figured out she can do whatever she wants to because she outweighs him by about 80 pounds, and we've been there, done that. So good sheep. I want to commend the young man for hanging in there and being confident and getting it done today. Young lady sheep in second, another really good one. You know, we just got some freakish attributes about the class winner that excel this one, but you study her, back 2/3 are phenomenal. Great top line. She's not deep and ugly chested. She just ain't the freak we got to win the class. Just happened to wind up in here. This one wins a lot of classes this morning. Just happened to wind up in here with that black ewe, but really, really good one right there. It's going to be interesting in our champion drive. We've got 3 right here that we could switch around however you want to. I think we got more body, more middle, more power in this 3 sheep. Bigger rib, bigger top. We just kind of roll in here logically with this one. Isn't quite as attractive as the one in second, but a really, really good blue sheep as well. The next one, you study this gal. A lot of potential right here. Just a little lean today. I think we feed her a notch harder, get more middle in her, and just relax everything. Fix that loin just a notch bit with a little fat cover. I think this gal becomes way, way competitive. Really wide built, really wide track, and lots of bells and whistles with all the fuzz and leg hair that we got going on there. Really good one in 5. You just stacks up against some very unique sheep in this class. You study this one, lots of power, lots of width and dimension like we've been talking about. That front third of this one from her rib cage forward, she just gets a little deeper, a little plainer in her appearance. Isn't quite as attractive as the ones ahead, but a good class. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
Your final placings on that class in Division 5, our last class of commercial breeding ewes. First, Knox Fike. Second, Heidi Mingarelli. Third, Legacy Murphy. Your 4th, Ty Jones. Your 5th, Brigham Dissenberger. Your 6th, Jessica Berg. Your 7th place, Dalen Beasley. 8th, Claire Rogers. 9th, Laura Larson. Laura. Your 10th, Addison Belt. Your 11th, Quinlan Simon. And your 12th place, Braylon Durham. Now our final division championship drive.
Last call, Class 1 Dorset. Last call, Class 1 Dorset.
No breaks.
buddy, okay? You got her? I know. She's very sensitive. It's like sometimes you...
Really good division here. Some excellent sheep out here and great kids showing them. You step back and you look at the quality. Just some really good sheep. We've sorted all morning in this commercial use show. There's one I think that just kind of raises the bar out here in this division. You study her as far as her completeness and just one that's presented extremely well. Just great build, super smooth, very balanced, very eye-appealing with plenty of power and bone and mass to go with it. Young man in Class 2 will be our champion. I think it becomes pretty tight here in this pair right here, and we study these two individually, and we'll talk about them briefly. We've got a really good built one here in the first class. Very sound, very solid. You study her, you can't really pick a hole in her. Won that class pretty handily, and just when we get out here in the drive and you look at them and you compare them profile and power and dimension, the black sheep right here, you study this one. That's the one we were talking about, how freaky shallow-chested she was, the middle and the soft look she has to her. She handles so expressive. The young man gets her on the move when she ain't running off with him. She looks pretty dang good. That gal has some freakish staying attributes about her that are very, very hard to find. I really like this pair extremely well. We're going to split the hairs, go with the young man with Class 3, and that'll be our reserve champion. Yeah, buddy. Nice sheep. Good job.
First call, Class 2. First call, Class 2.
No, I just took that a minute ago. I'm good for right now. I'm good for the next 15 minutes.
Your placings on Class 5 Championship Drive. Your champion, Cole Flower. Your reserve, File Knox. Congratulations. We're going to move right into our market show.